masyadong biglang gumulo. Pero, Jonas, Leo, yung 12% ba, import as percentage of total supply, is you consider that food security? No, do you consider that food security? As a matter of policy, during the time I was in the cabinet, we considered 15% import dependence as food security. So are you in fact, you want 100% on non-import, no import as food security or food self-sufficiency?
Mr. Chair, reality tells us that
Yes or no lang para tuloy na tayo, Leo.
no, Mr. Chair.
So you don't accept 12% import as percentage of total supply?
Maybe at this time, we can reach 7 to 5%. I would be.
Leo, can I just also remind you that hunger in Metro Manila went up from 10.7 to 15.7 because of our dependence on imports? Because imports are more expensive than local production. That is more, I think, that is the gut issue here. Our rice prices or rice production, the entire rice demand and supply and pricing dynamics has resulted in an increase in hunger. That is far more important. I think that is what we should put in your head and in your heart. That hunger went up from 10.7 to 15.7 in Metro Manila.
Agree, Mr. Chair.
So ngayon, I don't want that this committee hearing should foster speculation out there because people are watching us. So when Sinag says that farm gate prices should go 25, don't you think, sir, you're fostering higher? But of course, it's good for my farmers, but still, are you fostering speculation out there? Mr. Sinag, Mr. Sok, you're always my... should we foster speculation inside this committee hearing?
May we get a response from Mr. Rosendoso?
Yeah, because of the production, we are seeing
Sabi mo kanina, okay naman production natin.
hindi, yeah. Ang sinasabi ko is ang production natin by October to December aabot ng 7.4 million metric tons. This is equivalent to 4.8 million metric tons na bigas. So,
May mga buwan
yung presyo natin, more or less, ang tinitingnan namin na presyo is 25 pesos.
Okay na ako. May mga buwan kasi na mas marami ang imports as a supply than local production. Yeah, July, August. Usually, imports are bigger than our actual production, local production. So you would expect that in terms of the pricing, especially as reflected in the CPI, rice prices will tend to go up. Tama ba? Anyway, nandito tayo para sa solusyon. I like your solution, shifting from wet season to dry season. Ano ba ginawa mo sa Vietnam, Mr. Sebastian? Because you're single-handedly being attributed as the miracle worker of rice production in Vietnam.
I was not, Mr. Chair.
You are well. Thank you for being honest. But what do you mean by shifting wet season to dry season? And what does it take in terms of inputs or interventions from the state?
I'm just
No, sir. Ano yung wet season to dry season? What does it entail?
it will entail, Mr. Chair, that we have to ensure that we have good irrigation.
And bloody yan, sir.
Good irrigation.
Ano ibig sabihin niya? Good irrigation, nasa tabi ko.
Yes.
Oh, pero unang-una, so ibig sabihin kasi dry, therefore walang ulan. Tama ba yun?
No.
What does
Good,
dry...
good sunny weather, good for agriculture.
Pardon,
No typhoons.
all right. So tama naman. So napaka-practical. Bakit kaya nag-i-insist tayo na mag-wet season?
That is the traditional method of our rice
Ah.
farming, Mr. Chair.
Because only half is irrigated, probably.
Traditional and
Tama ba?
little
So,
irrigation.
pero tagal na natin alam yan. Kaya tayo nag-wet season kasi wala namang ulan. Di ba? Pag dry season. So, I meaning, pakidefine nga sa committee, ang dry, pag sinabi mo dry season, is that dry season planting or dry season harvesting? And what are the months are these? Okay, question number 1. What does dry season mean?
The dry season in the Philippines is from the months of November to May.
That's dry season. So you're referring to planting. Ay, to harvesting, no?
Planting and harvesting, Mr. Chair.
Planting and harvesting.
The best time of planting should be December and January in most places, and harvesting is April, late March to April.
So ngayon, ilan ang wet season harvest natin?
We have about 11 to 12 million metric tons palay.
Pag wet, pag dry,
Pag dry, we now have 9 million metric tons.
o talaga ang baliktad, no? So talaga ang obvious ay answer is in my left side, no? 'Di ba? So 9. So ano pa ang mga intervention? Yung terms of seeds, fertilizers, etc. Pag wet season ba, may mga hindi po pwedeng gawin? So aside from irrigation, what other things need to be done in order to shift from wet to dry?
We need to adjust also our planting
So
calendar.
ibig
in many
sabihin, wala nang
areas.
inbred, punta tayo ng
We
hybrid.
use hybrid in most areas and high yielding inbreds. Then we are working with NIA, Mr. Chair, to identify at least 1 million hectares. For a start, 1 million hectares that we can assure we will have good irrigation from the months of December to April. Out of the 2 million planted during the dry season.
So ibig sabihin, kung ayaw na natin, katulad ng sinasabi ni Mr. So, ang pinaka-obvious dito, mamigay ka ng seeds, no? At kasi sa kanya, it will take 18 months for irrigation. Given GPRA plus of course, tama ba? So,
We have to provide hybrid seeds, good inbred seeds, also fertilizers, biofertilizers, and
ayo,
yes, Mr. Chair, we need to start
yung mga
introducing
ayaw ng bio, gusto inorganic eh.
maybe that because the effect, Mr. Chair, is immediate for inorganic, but it is not a complete nutrient for the soil.
Ayaw nila eh.
No, Mr. Chair, we have to change our attitude and practices
I
if we
think
are
we
going
belong
to
to
go high
another
yielding.
country, sir. Pipilitin mo ba talaga sila na lumipat ng bayo samantalang
No, we are not saying they're going to ship, Mr. Chair. We are saying we need to go into a balanced fertilization, meaning to say we have basal application of organic fertilizer that is from the compost and other farm residues. And then we also need to apply biofertilizer to help degrade the soil and make available some of the nutrients that are inherent in the soil. And at the same time, to get higher yield, we need to apply inorganic fertilizer,
Magkano-
urea and
Okay na ako. Magkano yung natin deficit last year?
The
Production, demand, your demand is 14.8 million metric tons, right?
ikaw na.
Yes. And then your local production is 13.2 for this year. So your projected is 1.6 million to be imported. Tama ba? So what was it last year?
Last year, meron ka sa last year. I'll have to look at my.
So dumoble. So ibig sabihin walang kwenta yung ginawa natin on the first year of the president. So pinapaya natin si Pangulo dito. Kasi last year, before he became president, the deficit demand minus domestic supply is only 865. This year, demand less supply is 1.6, so a deficit of 1.6 million. So we will admit that there was failure in transmission. I'm your friend, so don't worry. So dumoble yung deficit. So pag dumoble yung deficit at hindi ka mag-import, obviously puputok presyo, tama ba?
Yes.
So anyway, hindi na kita pahirapan. I think I'll just ask you why the deficit went up. So ibig sabihin, people should eat less rice. An average Filipino eat 1 kilo every 3 days. 120.8 kilograms per year is consumed by an ordinary Filipino, including babies. So ngayon,
Average po yan.
Average nga. So, kaya nga tinabihan ko na para hindi masyado nag-aaway. So, ang point ko na dyan, alam naman natin na may Russian problem. Alam naman natin ng India naglabas na ng export ban. At 6 million lang naman yung non-basmati. Alam naman natin ng El Nino. Alam naman natin ng climate change. So, ibig sabihin, it's well within our political will or planning. Kahit wala na political will, planning na lang. Capabilities. And then execution of that plan. So it depends on the goal. You said the goal is self-sufficiency. Obviously, it's achievable. Out of 18% irrigable land, only 8% is irrigated. And that has been the figure since time immemorial. I keep seeing the number again and again for the past 20 years. So, anyway, para lang ma-solve, okay na ako doon sa sinabi mo na magsimulan tayo mag-shift from wet to dry. So, ibig sabihin, mamimigay ka ng hybrid seeds. At, ano yan, complete package, Leo?
Balance fertilization.
Balance. Naku, pila na naman yung mataga-pulanggi, hindi yan papayag. May wala ka sa akin. Ang tagal ko nang pinipilit mag-organic. Diyos mio.
Hindi. It's when you say biofertilizer, Mr. Chair, it's not
Organic.
organic. It's not organic. That's different.
O sige, just teach me na lang later on. Isa na lang, sir, bago ako manggulo dito. So, ang presyo ng imported ay 55, tama ba? Per kilo? At 638, tama ba, Rolando? So?
Yeah, nasa 51 to 55.
So 51 to 55. Again, ang hirap talaga magkaroon ng public hearing, but it's better if we were transparent and so people will know, they will know why rice prices are going up because 12% of the supply and the bulk of it is during this season, August, July, September, wherein imports are bigger than domestic harvest. Kaya ganun nagkakaganon. So, mag-i-stabilize pa rin ba yan?
Yes, ang tingin natin by October to December, pag-ani na natin ng
In short, sinasabi mo, dahil 7% up ang world production, these rice prices are really just a matter of speculation?
sa other countries kasi mataas yung bili
Yeah,
natin sa other
But
countries.
domestic prices are sympathetic to world prices.
Yeah, ang nangyayari kasi dahil maliit ang production ani pa ngayon, sumasama doon sa driven ng
So, ibig
world
sabihin,
market price.
magdi-decouple tayo pag pumasok na yung domestic na ani.
Yes, oo.
So ngayon, ang tanong, bakit hindi kayo lumaban bakit EU10 lang ang gusto nyong palitan? Ay, ang gusto nyong ipatupad?
Kasi nasa
Sagutin mo ako. Ang EU10 po, kasi ngayon, under our bilateral trade with India and Pakistan, which is, nakita nyo naman, top 3 suppliers, 50% po ang kanilang. So ngayon, ang ginawa ng EU10, ibaba siya sa 35. Yun lang naman ang mangyayari doon. Ang tanong, so, ilang bagsak ba sa presyo ang makukuha natin doon? Mercy. So stopgap lang yan? For how many months do you want the EU10 to be applied?
until February po sana.
Until February. Bakit hindi pa yung 35% ang pakialaman natin? Because the President has the capacity to modify tariffs when Congress is not in session. Excuse me. Sir, I will finish already. Would you recommend modifying the tariff lines under the RTL of 35 and bring it down when Congress is not in session and therefore the President can move the prices so we can bring imported prices and domestic local production? Okay lang ba yun sa'yo, Leo? Remember that my problem is hunger has went up from 10.7 to 15.7 in Metro Manila. And now that is in June, before all these prices shot up. Alam mo naman, Metro Manila is so dependent on imported rice. Kaya all these rice movements are essentially in imported prices are being reflected in Metro Manila. And Metro Manila, generally, would dictate public opinion for the rest of the country. So, sagutin mo na lang ako, would you recommend, aside from EO10, would you recommend that the president exercise his power under CMTA to modify tariffs when Congress is not in session? That means October 1 or September 30.
Kung Salceda, we'll probably have to study that very well kasi we have to balance it also with the local prices, especially since it's going to be
So,
harvest
if
season.
prices go up, I will blame you, ha? Leo, will you do a memorandum for the president, which is the usual instrument for policy recommendation to the president? It's called the MFP. Will you prepare an MFP recommending that the president exercise his powers under CMTA to modify tariffs when Congress is not in session, starting September 30?
Mr. Chair, considering that my work is really to focus on improving local productivity, I would like to work on the side of our farmers, Mr. Chair. And I can see also that the prices, even the international prices, are also easing up now, and they may go down in the coming months. If India will lift its ban, or Vietnam will now, because Vietnam, Mr. Chair, increase its volume of export, they were exportable from 6 million to 8 million. So that means prices may go down, and I think they are going down already. It used to be 700, now it's already 600. So if we tinker with the tariff, we may also affect our farmers' income. One of the best way to really improve our productivity in the country, production also, is that we give enough income for our farmers so that they will plant rice and have more incentive to invest in putting the inputs that are required. Otherwise, if their income is very low, we are pushing them to produce more. But if their income is good, they are going to be incentivized to produce
Last
more.
question na lang, Mr. Chair. Are you insinuating that we change RTL from supply side to demand side, sir? Because right now, 10 billion is being in for mechanization, so that's supply side. Would you rather say that any farmer produces 1 kilo gets 5 pesos more from the RCEP? Isn't that a better way to do it? There will be less corruption.
Actually, kung Salcedo, yung RFFA is coming from the
Ang liit,
SFFA.
yung lampas lang sa 10 billion, wag mo akong bigyan ng ganun. Would you like to use the 17 billion from the RCEP to be just a production incentive for every kilo produced?
No, I don't think that's not.
Next year, tapos na yung nakalagay doon ng amendment na yon na wala naman dito sa House.
No,
Pero I'd rather say, why don't you change, instead of supply side intervention, why did you say that every farmer produce 1 kilo of rice, give them 5 pesos more from the RCEP? Rather than, nakikialam tayo, baka mawala ng trabaho yung mga taga-Philmec. Pero ang sinasabi ko, why don't we do it directly? Just what Trump did during the soybean crisis in So yun lang naman ang ko dyan. Pero first, I would like to commend you for that policy recommendation and for being staunch na we should continue focusing on domestic production. And the shift from wet to dry is a very logical. Bakit hindi ko ba naisip yun? Diyos ko. Ang problema kasi pag dry, wala talagang tubig. Ito kasi may problema yung batang to eh. Hindi marunong humingi ng pera kasi kaibigan niya yung boss niya eh. Kaya next time dapat, kung papasok ka ng kabinete, dapat hindi mo kaibigan ng amo mo. Kasi hindi ka makahingi. So anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Alam mo, malaki ang respeto ko dito sa dalawang to. Pagdating sa stat, lalo na dito. Pagdating po naman sa utak, dyan po sa isang yan. Ay, may utak din to. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Joey Salceda.